So we have a whole setup here, a bench with the wheel, the old Invention, a couple of Béton Mécaniques, a lot of the wooden dops, the lamp, more dops, I think to do the matches, a lot of stuff for the alcohol burner. There's more dops here, some cool accessories like the measuring tool, this old invoice, there's a diamond cutting tank, there's a whole nother lap here, the roller thing, piece of synthetic glass stuff. There's a weight and measures thing back here. Oh, there's a whole bowl of synthetics right here. Old synthetics, that's pretty cool.
It's a cute little one.
Yeah, they're all tiny white ones. You've got measuring calipers down here. There's a address book that says 1932, and this paper is 1939, so we can kind of see probably the age of this one. The heart in there is really cool. There's a hammer right here that might be for pressing the diamond into the lap. And finally, a little extra box that has a bunch of emerald stone papers with different names. I think they're all empty. I only looked in one, but pretty cool. Comes with a bench. It's in working condition. Everything's hooked up and attached right now. And it even has the leather strap that's intact. So pretty nice shape, really good condition. Nice finish, no drawer, but really cool. Last winter, we went back to this antique store in Lons-le-Saunier, France, because I found this awesome machine and my buddy Charlie wanted to buy it. And along with the machine came all those accessories I showed you, but also a little bit more, which was this whole tray of old parcels of stones. So these have been sitting in my storage for a bunch of months now. We've never looked at them yet. So a couple days ago, Charlie came over from London to pick up the machine, and we spent the evening opening up all these packages, these parcels, to see what was in there.
Oh, goodness, so small.
Oh my god.
What a heart.
A sapphire, so. These are all this glass. This is a receipt from 1883. Oh wow. The receipt's just as cool as the freaking contents.
And as he said, the receipt is as cool as the contents. We kept unwrapping these. There was over 20 of them. And sadly, to some degree, all of the contents were pretty much the same, these small, round glass balls. There was this one little blue sapphire bowl and a couple of little faceted stones, but mostly we had kilos and kilos and kilos of little glass balls that I assume were cut up, faceted, and turned into little gems for a cheap jewelry trade. We had bits of fake turquoise. We had these really interesting stones that were clear but had a little bit of color on one end, which made us think that that was going to be the culet. And then some of them look like preforms. Now these are cast, so they're cast into these shapes, but the bigger ones look like gemstone shapes. So I don't know if they were casting them in a mold that looks like a preform, and then they would easily be able to facet them. We don't know the story behind these. All we know is that they came with this machine that's from the 30s or so, and they're wrapped in invoices from the 1890s, which makes me think that these stones are possibly a lot older than the machine. Now, as far as I know from the antique dealer, these stones weren't with the machine. He acquired these separately and just bundled them in because he didn't know what else to do with them. So now we have tons and tons and tons of these potentially 19th century glass preforms that were being cut up in the Jura. And probably, as Charlie said at the beginning, the cooler thing here is actually the paper that they're wrapped in. We've got evidence of different gem cutters. So this is a gem cutter in Prim, which is one of the gem cutting towns. The same guy, Victor, I don't know what his last name is, but Monsieur Victor, the Lapidary of Prim in the Jura. So this is one of those Jurassian gem cutting towns. And we've even got some of the fashions that were popular at the style. So if you've been watching some of my other Jura videos, you know that Septmoncel, the center city of this place, was known as Little Paris. So these were some of the Parisian fashions that they were getting into at the end of the 1800s and the early 1900s. So we can imagine what all those gem cutting women would have been wearing, and all of the jewelry. And look, this is cheap jewelry, $1.50 necklaces, $1.95 necklaces. So maybe this is where all those pieces of glass were going to. Again, we don't really know any of this story behind this. I hope later I'll stumble across some stuff. But the old handwriting is really nice. This one that says emeralds, and it's just written right on top of the old invoice. So I assume that they just had these invoices in their files. So if these are from the 1880s and 1890s, then maybe these were 5 or 10 years old when they packed them up. So maybe this is 1900. Yeah, this one's 1881. So even at 1900, this is a 20-year-old invoice, which seems reasonable. I can't imagine that they're going to be much older than that and that they're still around. But I'm looking forward in the future to restoring these. I have a whole plan for washing them, ironing them out, getting all the creases out, and seeing what's on them. We've read a little bit, and they seem to be, they're not receipts for goods. They seem to be more like, almost like time card sheets. They're keeping track of what the delivery guy was delivering, a parcel of emeralds here, some other stuff over here. It is all gem cutting related stuff. So even the invoices are really cool because they're talking about different stuff that they were doing and how much the delivery guy was charging them to do it. So I'm looking forward to getting into more of these. Yeah, these are the amethyst colored ones. They all say fonde or fondue, and we're not sure what that is. This one was fun. This is a big bag of rough inside of a coffee bag from Lons-le-Saunier, which is where the machine came from. So I don't know if the guy put those in there or that was what they're in. Now this is probably one of the most interesting ones. This is a piece of glass with 4 different colors in it that's been faceted in an old style brilliant cut. And I don't know if they're just experimenting with this or what, but it's pretty cool. It reminds me of the X cubes that have been so popular in the last few years in the hobby faceting scene. This is everything we got. Every color of the rainbow, but sadly it's 99.9% glass, other than one boule, a few synthetic opals, a few probably glass turquoise, and everything else is small, tiny rounds in every color of the rainbow, and we split them in 3. So these are going to be split between me and Charlie and our friend Martin, who also was in on this deal. And we're looking forward to playing around with these, or maybe just displaying them. I really don't know what we're going to do. But thanks for going on this journey with me. And if you're enjoying all these free videos that I've been putting out, I ask that you might consider subscribing to me on Patreon. This will give you access to my bi-monthly podcast, as well as just helping to support me as I make all these free videos for YouTube to entertain and educate. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time right here on the Gem Cutter's Craft.